In this video, I'll show you how I repainted my LSA engine cover, including how to paint the raised lettering if you want to do the same. Here's a quick look at the before and after. Before we get started, here's what you'll need. Grey scuffing pads and 600 grit sandpaper, wax and grease remover, a plastic primer, 2K gloss black for the letters, 1K acrylic, I chose Hazard Yellow, this was my base coat, thinners for the lettering, and a 2K clear. First up, grab your grey scuffing pad and scuff up the entire engine cover. Ideally you should use scuffing paste, but if you don't have that, you can just use water. I found the scuffing pad didn't quite get the finish I wanted, so I went over with 600 grit as well. Once that's all done, give it a good clean with some water. And when that's nice and clean, you can dry it off with a rag. This is the sort of look you're aiming for before it's ready for paint. Now we're prepped and ready for paint, grab your wax and grease remover, spray it onto the cover and wipe it off. Make sure it's as clean as possible before we start painting. Now apply the primer following the instructions on the can. Next up is the colour for the lettering. Make sure this is a 2K paint, otherwise it won't work. I chose gloss black. Once again, follow the instructions on the can. You only need to actually spray the letters, but I chose to do the entire cover for better coverage and more protection. Once I was done painting, I waited 48 hours for the paint to cure before I sanded it. I hit it with 600 grit sandpaper just to denib it and make it nice and smooth. You also need to let the black cure for this time so it's chemically resistant for the next step. It's also important you do this, otherwise the paint won't stick. Once again, grab your wax and grease remover and give it a good clean. Now we're ready for the colour. I used the entire can for this, and if I was to do it again, I'd recommend buying 2. I actually messed up the next step and needed more yellow paint, and I was just lucky to have some more lying around. Now for the hardest part, you want to grab your thinners, a rag and a little block. I just used this little Jenga sized wooden block I found lying around the house. Carefully wipe off the yellow. Since the 2K black underneath is solvent resistant, it will only affect the yellow on top. Make sure not to touch any other part of the engine cover with the thinners, otherwise you'll ruin it and have to respray it. Once you've done all the letters, it's time for the clear. I used a 2K clear for chemical and heat resistance as well as extra durability. Once that's had enough time to dry, we're ready to put it on the car. And here's the finished product. Overall, I'm extremely happy with the finish, but as you can see, there's some minor imperfections when you get close up. Thanks for watching, hopefully this helps if you want to do the same.